Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Apple screen recording software. I want to show you guys how to use this, okay? And it's actually pretty simple. It's built in, it's just a easy key combination. Hold down your command key, your shift key, and then just hit the number 5 just like this. Voila. Okay? Now, there's more to it than that, obviously. Okay? You have capture the entire screen. Okay, this is a screen capture. All right. So if you do this, it's a capture of just like a screenshot. Okay. Capture a selected window. Capture selected portion. Okay. Now right now it's showing a big perforation thing here all the way around the screen. So I can just size this up to wherever. And wherever there's the picture in here, that's what it's gonna do. Okay, now that's all fine and dandy, no big deal. Record the entire screen. Now that is something that I never really paid much mind to it, okay, because record selected portion. So I did a video earlier today for you guys on Paul Attal's porting toolkit. So all I did was all this, right? I just did the whole screen area, right? Now, for most part of that video, everything was fine. But when it came to showing you the game in play that we had just ported over to the Mac from PC, what happened was up in the corner here, you saw the game very small, and I'm like, rest assured, it is full screen, okay? But not for you guys. For me, it was. But for you guys, you got a little box. I'd never paid this much mind before, right? And I'm just like, I mean, I've been doing this stuff for forever, but there's certain things that I just kind of naturally have done, right? Because, PC as well, right? I select an area and boom, no big deal, right? But yeah, in the case of that kind of a video that I did, the screen recording software definitely issued itself, even though it was, set up for that. So if you want to record the entire screen properly, okay, then you actually need to select record the entire screen, okay? So just as an example, I'm going to show you this. As we're talking, my Skyrim video is uploading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record for you guys, okay? Now, none of my voice is going to go on this recording because I've disconnected my mics. So, but we're going to play it back and show you what can happen here. Okay, so first let's get recorded selection. We've recorded the whole thing here. Okay, so let's hit record and let's actually see what does happen. All right, so we'll record. We're going to fire up Skyrim. And we're going to play the game. Now you notice we get a full screen going here because, well, we're playing the game. A little recording things up there. It's recording the game. Awesome. Unfortunately, we have no FPS counters, which kind of really sucks. So we're going to continue here. Click yes. And the reason why we have no FPS counter capability is because this is a wrapped game, and so it's not going to allow us that to see what our FPS range is. Okay, so here we are in the game. We're playing the game, no big deal. We can walk around, blah, 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 do all that stuff. We're all okay and good to go, right? You would think, right? Okay, so let's get out of this. And let's quit the game and desktop and say yes. And then we're going to stop the recording up here. You'll find your recording button up there at the top. Click that, say okay. Now, first thing I'm noticing is we have some issues here, especially with some black bordering that technically shouldn't even be here. Okay, but we're going to hit done. So it saves it. Then we're going to fire it back up. And of course, now we see that, hey, look at this. This is kind of cool, right? So let's move ahead in our game a bit. We are going to get chopped off of a lot of stuff, it seems. But yes and no, right? What you guys are seeing here is, well, that's kind of cool. That seems to work just fine, right? And I got a message from a friend. So no big deal. Let's quit. let's get out of here. Now, we are going to select record the entire screen this time. We're going to hit record, and we're going to fire Skyrim back up. And we're going to hit play. So now we've selected to record the entirety of the screen, right? Okay. Continue. Yes. Okay, so now we see all of this. It's all full screen, no problem. We'll go and we can play this game. Okay, let's quit. And we'll get out of there. And then we click done. Now let's see what it gave us. Okay, it looks like everything seems to be intact. There's nothing cut off. There's no black areas, none of that stuff. Let's move ahead into the game a bit here. Voila, works better, okay? Now, where I ran into the problem the most, it would seem, it's not from the lack of selecting the area, because if we go back to our last screen recording here, this is the one we did that we just selected the area. Okay, so we should be able to do a side-by-side actually of this. Okay, so let's see if there's any missing pieces here. Now, I'm going to shrink this window down so we can compare the two. Try and make this a bit smaller here. So, on our side-by-side, I personally don't see any difference other than I do see that I get a little bit more, actually. So if you look at this part of the roof post, okay, to this part, I'm actually seeing a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and I see a little less here, and just a hairball less on that side. So if you want to do a proper full screen recording, then yeah, you're going to need to select full screen and not, manually select an area. Okay, it's the same thing as we could take this, for example, right, and Command Option 5. And we just want to select this area because we don't want any of the other stuff there. Now this is where this part's handy. Okay, so if you wanted to do some sort of a side-by-side, you could do that and record it that way. And then we can just hit record. And we'll let that record for a minute. And we can stop it. And this is what we're going to end up with. Okay. So we'll click done, and we'll fire that up, and this is the recording, right? So pretty easy peasy if you ask me. All right, this gives you a side-by-side, right? Okay, QuickTime Player. Actually, we don't want to quit out of there. We'll just get rid of that one. Now this time we are going to go with the other one. Okay, select the entire screen. Hit record. So if you want to record something full screen and not lose anything, period. Like I run an internet browser and I've been recording off internet browsers, for example. And well, I select an area and that's fine. But am I losing stuff? Could be, right? And you'll find out when you play stuff back. Okay, so let's now stop this and let's play this video back. So we'll say done. And that's this one here. And you'll notice that now it records this up here, but it also records the rest of the empty space. So selection is good when you don't want certain things in your frame. But at the same time, like I said, I was recording as a selection when I did that Paul the 12 porting toolkit program for you. But then when we played the game, we basically ended up with a box in the corner here, even though I saw full screen, you guys didn't. But if I would have done record entire screen, that would have been completely different. Okay, so let's do the internet browser test. Okay, so I'm going to fire up Safari here. We're going to go to Paul the Tall Porting Toolkit. Now, when I select record entire screen. Let's see what happens here. So I'm recording the entire screen. I'm going to scroll through this. Okay, and so I'm going to scroll so far because of what's on the one side. Okay, we'll look at game ports. No big deal. We're getting the whole thing, right? Okay, so that seems to be fine. So let's quit that, and then we'll just minimize that for a second, and we'll see what we got. And see, this is where, oh, there's some borders here, but that's okay. Just click done, and then we fire it up. Okay, and then we say, okay, well, that's all fine and dandy. So let's hit play. Now, do we have any content missing? Doesn't seem to be. And we're getting the bottom menu bar too, right? So, okay, which is fine. We got the bottom menu bar. So let's quit out of there. Let's go to here. And we'll open Safari back up. Same deal, except this time we're going to do the selection. Okay, so we select. This way we keep content off that we don't want. Now this has a handy purpose to it. So this way we're going to hit record. So we've selected just the area of the browser's dimensions. This is where things went wrong with the game, because when we played the game, I saw it as a full screen, you saw it as up in the corner with a bunch of blanks, because the game is not going to be the same perimeters as the selected area. And that's where things actually did go wrong. So, but then again, I only wanted on the browser side that, but I expected that if the game was going to play, it should have played and recorded properly, but it takes up the entire screen. That's the thing. And because it can't access that, it gave us a smaller box, which was filled with a lot of black. So that's what ends up happening. So when we go back to this, let's just quit Safari this time. So when we play this one back, you'll notice we only get just what we selected. Okay, so we'll say done. So now you're not going to see any of the rest of my desktop, none of that, okay? And that's fine. So be mindful when you're recording with the Apple recording software. Hey, I just learned something today. I'm not perfect, you know. And so now when I do future game recordings for you guys on my Mac, I am going to Command-Shift-5. I am going to select the entire screen, because when you're playing a game, it takes over the entire screen, which will hide all this down here because it won't exist, okay? So just remember that. If you need a selected area, you select that area. If you want the entirety of the screen because of what you're doing, just be mindful of what you're seeing on screen, right? So if you don't want to show any of this and you're working with a program or a browser, okay, so no games, okay, then yeah, you're going to want to record a specific way, which means we select the contented area that we need. That's it. We hide the rest, okay? If we need the entirety, which would be in a gameplay, we need to select entire. Now under options, you get into where you want to save it, a timer if you need it, which I don't use timers because, hey, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, that's nothing. Microphone, either none, or in my case I have a Scarlett interface, in which case I can take my Kamika lapel kit here, hook it in, and away I go, and I have a microphone on my Mac. Show floating thumbnails, remember last selection, show mouse clicks. You can do that sort of thing too for the features. So that's the Apple recording software for you guys. It's a bit of a video, but hey, you know what? We had to go through all this for you guys to help us out. By the way, thanks so much for watching. Comments down below, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. See ya.